Well, happy Mother's Day to everyone who is a mother, has a mother, or has had someone in their life in that support role as a mother. Today's topic is words and language. I'm going to ask a lot of questions of you today, but I don't expect for you to respond out loud. Just think about my questions from within. So words determine our images and our behavior. If I say the word cat, that might conjure up very different images for everyone in here today. If I say the word cat in context with the plains of Africa, I've suddenly changed the image in your head. And then if I attach the word cat to that large vehicle that drives along the snow and ice in Alaska, I've changed the image once again. Or if I talk about the 1960s and somebody who was a cool cat. As you see, I'm using the same word cat, but depending on the other words around it, I conjure different images. What about when I say the word colored in reference to African American people? The images that might have populated your thoughts are probably of a divided America, whites only establishments, blacks sitting in the back of the bus, separate drinking fountains. What image is conjured up for you when I say the word God? Is that a male image? A female image? Is that image old or young? Black? White? Is it even a human image for you? Do you see flames? Or an eagle? A rock? A mother bear? Bread? A seed? A star? Every one of these images and many more are biblically based. And that's why I printed this one out for you. This is a sampling of all of the different words and images that we have of God that are biblical. No, because everyone has a paper. Some might say that a majority of people who walk into Wasatch MCC are from the dominant religion of the area, and so most of them grew up with the Father God image. We wouldn't want them to feel excluded if we used mother or female language for God. But I'm going to ask you to look at this a little differently. How do you define something that is beyond definition, as I believe God is? By using a variety of words and images for the divine, we open up more possibilities, not just for those who enter our doors, but for ourselves as well. Seeing God as a mother eagle protecting her nest of young eaglets may be just what you need when you're in a frightening place, standing on the precipice of a new life experience. If you were raised in an abusive home where both your parents were perpetrators of violence, any image of the parent God may put you over the top. Had you just lost friends and loved ones in a horrific fire, the image of a devouring flame may be the last straw for you. Our job here is not to anticipate every single need and everyone's specific image of God, but it is to open ourselves up and others to more possibilities. When we think of inclusive language here at Wasatch MCC, we also have to consider other language that we use. Again, consider these images. We're going to man a booth at Pride. Chairman of the board. And mankind. Although we know that manning a booth at Pride really means staffing a booth, that the chairman is really the facilitator of the board, and that mankind incorporates all people. For many of these words elicit images of men only, or at least initially. Then what we do is mentally wrangle with those words before coming to that larger understanding. Isn't it more inclusive to help everyone not have to go through that internal redefinition? That is the power of inclusive language. Words have power. The saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me, I think is a bunch of malarkey. One of my previous relationships was filled with hurtful words, looks, control, and codependence, to the point that I didn't have a positive self-esteem near the end of that relationship. I was never physically abused, but the fact that I didn't have any visible bruises actually made that abuse more insidious. It took a loving wife and Cindy, therapy, and years of recovery from those words. In fact, I'm still recovering because words have power. I know this was short, but as we end today, I want you to consider some of these FEMA images of God in the Bible. These are also listed on that sheet, so you can look at them more in depth at home. But because it's Mother's Day, I wanted to end with these pieces. In Hosea 11, verses 3 and 4, God is described directly as mother. And then God is speaking here. Yet it was I who taught Ephraim to walk, I who took them up in my arms, but they did not know that I healed them. I led them with cords of human kindness, with bands of love. I was to them like those who lift infants to their cheeks. I bent down to them and fed them. Beautiful mother image there. In Hosea 13:8, God is described as a mother bear. Like a bear robbed of her cubs, I will attack them and tear them asunder. Yeah, it's a very strong image, a very protector. Also as a mother eagle in Deuteronomy 32:11 and 12. Like the eagle that stirs up its nest and hovers over its young, God spreads wings to catch you and carries you on pinions. That's a beautiful image as well. God is also an image of someone who gives birth in Deuteronomy 32:18. It's just a little bit after that mother eagle. You were mindful of the rock that bore you. You forgot the God who gave you birth. So that's kind of a mixed one too. It also talks about God as a rock. In Isaiah 66:13, God is a comforting mother. Again, God is speaking. As a mother comforts her child, so I will comfort you. You shall be comforted in Jerusalem. And in Jeremiah 44:25, God is a queen of heaven. Thus says the God of Israel, you and your wives have accomplished in deeds what you declared in words. We are determined to make offerings to the Queen of Heaven and to pour out libations to her. By all means, keep your vows and make your libations. And the last one that I'm going to talk to you about is the God again as mother in Psalm 131, verse 2. But I have calmed and quieted my soul like a weaned child with its mother. My soul is like the weaned child that is with me. So these are some of the images that we can think about when we think about God, and particularly on Mother's Day, as we think about the female images of God and those mothering images of God. And whether your human mother or mothers are what you hope for in a mother, or whether they're not, these are images that we can rely on and take to heart. Happy Mother's Day.